Hey y'all, and welcome back to Kate Miss. I'm so excited that you're here once again. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. Today we're going to be diving into a bit of a year-end favorites. This time not going to be about palettes. I feel like I stay very palette focused on my channel, but today we're going to deviate from that and talk about everything else but palettes. If you're someone who loves the palettes and you're sitting here saying, but I want to hear about your favorite palettes, your top 3 favorite palettes, I already did that video, and I did a video all to itself because y'all know I love palettes that much. It had to get its own video. So I will leave that video linked up here and you can check out my top 3 palettes in a bunch of different categories. But today we're going to be talking about top 3 in, like I said, every other category except palettes. So I'm going to do my face, lip products, a little bit of eye products that aren't palette related, and I don't really do singles or, you know, one and done type of shadows. So we're going to do all those other categories. This isn't inspired by me. It's actually inspired by Angelica Nyquist, and I believe she was inspired to do it by other creators. I'll leave anyone I can find a link down below to give them credit. I believe I heard someone say that Julia Adams was the original first person to do top 3 in like different categories and whatnot. So as I said, I'll link everyone down below because I don't want to forget anyone, and if I did forget someone, feel free to leave it in the comment and I will add it to the description box. But definitely check out there if you want to see more videos like this and to see who inspired and started it all. I really have been enjoying watching these videos, so when I saw Angelica do it and, you know, I did the eyeshadow palette, I love that. I was like, this will be a perfect palette for end of the year. We're going to talk about top favorites of products that I've used in all these different categories from 2021. And I'm going to really focus on the products that it could be that I tried this year, but basically the ones that I kept going back to this year. So it might not all be brand new that I tried this year, but they're products that I've just used on repeat for most all of 2021. And that's kind of how I picked the top 3 in all of the categories. So yeah, with that said, I think we can jump right into it. I do have a giveaway going on. I'll leave that video linked up here if you are still, you know, hanging around this video and haven't skipped ahead to a different category. There is a giveaway. You can check out that video if you want to see 3 different winners, 3 different boxes. But with that said, let's jump right into it. Alright, so first category is primers, and I feel like primers is definitely what I'm a little bit weak on, in that I haven't really played around and tested many primers. I have been really just kind of throwing it on and going when it comes to my base products this year. So a lot of these, as I said, I can really say they're top 3 because I've just been reaching for them and going, and I've just used them on repeat. But I do have a couple to name. First one being an actual primer. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer Fresh It Up. This is, I think, my second tube of this, and I'm almost out of it. It's getting pretty darn down there, but I discovered this after I, you know, tried it to see if it was a dupe for the Smashbox Primerizer, which I absolutely love, and it really is for me and what I like the Primerizer from Smashbox for. This is a great dupe, so when I ran out of the Smashbox Primerizer and I finished up my Catrice tube, I just repurchased it and I've kept on trucking. If you're someone who doesn't really like to mess with primers, you want something just that feels like a moisturizer going on, but really does help kind of refresh and revive your skin and keep it, you know, not looking too dried out. I really have found this to be a good go-to. And then the other 2 favorites from this year are more moisturizers than actual primers, but I just use them in the morning as a moisturizer, throw my foundation on top of it, and just keep on trucking. But it is the Good Molecules Silicone Free Priming Moisturizer. This is kind of like a 2-in-1. This one I like for in the cold months. I have found that during the summer months when it was the hottest here in Florida, I really did not reach for this at all, just because I felt like it just felt too thick and I got too oily by the end of the day. But during the winter, I reach for it a lot. And as you can see, let's see, I'm up to here on it just from over the past winter, and as we get into the fall, I'm starting to use it again. So I probably will definitely finish that as we enter the 2021 winter, 22 winter, and I'll finish that up and get it finished before summer. But it is fantastic. I love it. It's got a very rich, kind of thick texture to it, but for me being oily skin, as I said, I use it when I'm the driest, but it isn't too thick or heavy for me, and I've just really been enjoying it and can definitely foresee myself repurchasing that. And then last up is also this Pharmacy Daily Greens Oil-Free Gel Moisturizer. I like this just because it's so very light. It's got a consistency like the Catrice one. It's a gel type of very just soft, light on the skin type of moisturizer. It's very thin feeling, so when you kind of put it on and apply it, it dries really fast and doesn't feel like you have a film on your face or anything. It soaks right in, and it's like you put nothing on except that your skin is very moisturized. And so honestly, more days than not, I just put this on and keep on trucking. I am almost out of it. I don't even know if you can see there, but I'm pretty much down to the bare bottom of this. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and that's kind of why I've been reaching for it, since I do have it. I just like this type of consistency when it comes to kind of everyday, especially in the summer, an everyday moisturizer I can throw on that doesn't necessarily, you know, mean I have to try a primer on or I have to put a primer on top of it. I can use this as just like a 2-for-1, and it's worked well for me, so I have enjoyed it, but that's definitely one that I have reached for this so much this past year. Okay, so for foundations, top 3 has got to be the Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Foundation. I tried this on a whim. I'd been eyeing it for so long. Like when it first came out, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And then I continued to watch it, didn't pick it up. Finally, months after it launched, I finally picked it up. Ulta, I can't remember if it was on sale or not, but like, oh my goodness, as soon as I tried it, I was like, wow, this is really nice. And I got my sister's on it. This is actually the foundation my sister used when she got married and all the bridesmaids used, of course, in our different colors to match our skin tone, but I got them all hooked on it because it's such a natural looking foundation. It's not too heavy, but it gives very nice coverage. It looks so natural on your face. It looks so lightweight, almost like you're not wearing makeup. It's not a no makeup type of foundation. I don't want to give any of the wrong impressions, but it looks and feels so very lightweight, so very natural, but it does give coverage. It's just the perfect in between for me, and I've just been reaching for it so very much. Longevity too is really nice. I tend to pair it with some type of like mattifying long wear type of primer if I really want it to last all day, but on the day-to-day, I often just throw it on top of a moisturizer and go, and I love it. I've also been using the Covergirl Clean Matte BB Cream a ton. This is in the shade Light Medium. Love it so much. I love how it does give you some mattifying aspects, but it's nothing too heavy on your face. It feels very natural. It's very easy to blend on, but like I said, it does give you a little bit coverage for imperfections and acne breakouts and whatnot, but it's just such an easy product to put on and go. I've really been reaching for this over foundations. Like when it comes to my full coverage heavy foundations, I haven't really been reaching for any of them in 2021 because I just want something easy and just quick and very natural looking on my face, and you know, these two especially have been fantastic. And to follow that up, the other top three is it's a tinted moisturizer. So I've been going very, very tinted and very light on my foundation this year, but this is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer, and this is like my go-to every day. This is actually a second tube. I have another one because I picked this one up and then I needed something a little bit darker. So I have light 7W and medium 9W because I picked up the 7W and then summer came and I got darker, so I picked up the 9W. But now winter's coming, so I'm kind of combining the two because that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I have on today, but it's just a really nice product. I always put these on with a brush. I know it says tinted moisturizer, but I treat it like a foundation. So I put it on with a brush, I set it with a powder, and I love how it looks. I feel like it doesn't look foundation-y at all. It looks very light, but still my face is kind of like matching my neck more, which is what I like. It's just been my go-to when I think back over which product did I wear most on my face out of these three. Definitely the Colourpop. I was wearing it so very much this past year. It's just a solid product that I just liked how it felt. I liked how it wore. I liked how it looked. I gotta say, I really do like it. Next up for concealers, I have 3 concealers that I've just been using, like I said, on repeat in 2021. The number one being this Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I love this. I have 2 different colors just because this was a little bit light. It still works for the very inner corner to really brighten, but this is more of like my skin tone, just a tiny bit lighter, so it's more natural on my under eyes. But these, I absolutely love them. They're not like super heavy when it comes to the coverage. However, I feel like they cover my under eyes so well, but feel so light that I love them. So like I said, I can't really tell you, like, this isn't like Tarte Shape Tape like that thick, but I feel like I have it on today. I feel like it covers my under eyes to the extent that I want them to, and it doesn't crease, it doesn't feel cakey, it doesn't look weird throughout the day, it doesn't cake up. And I think the thing I love most about it is that it works really well on my face when I have like a full coverage foundation on, like something really thick. It glides on beautifully and just meshes well with that, but it also looks amazing if I'm going super light and super, you know, minimal on my face, and I do just like a little tinted moisturizer, or I just want to do concealer, cover the spots that I want, cover my under eyes, and put some, you know, powder foundation on. If I do that, it works so well. And I feel like that's a really good testament to a good concealer for me personally, is one that can work with foundation and also without, because there are definitely high coverage concealers, but there are definitely concealers out there that you try to put on a bare face and set with powder, you can tell everywhere that you put the concealer, and I just feel like that doesn't look good. But these cover nicely, and they are incredibly thin and light on the face, and I just love that combo. So definitely number one spot, the Catrice. But to follow that up, I tried the Flower Beauty concealer. I believe it was this year. I really do like this. It's nice. I don't notice any kind of creasing. It's more of a thicker coverage. It blends really nicely. I would say the feeling is a little bit thicker than the Catrice, but nothing like Tarte Shape Tape type of like thickness to it. It's very liquidy. I feel like I've just gotten super away from the heavy coverage and the heaviness of like the Tarte Shape Tape. I don't like that in my concealers. I like them to be very light and very thin and almost watery, because they just blend out so much nicer on my under eyes. They look better, and then I also don't have to worry about any creasing creasing. Like, none of the concealers I'm talking about today ever crease under my eyes, and I love that. And then last up, also the Milani Retouch and Erase Light Lifting Concealer. This is, again, a nice one. I feel like maybe the most coverage out of all three of these, maybe. I feel like it has a decent amount of coverage, but it still is very, very light on the skin, but it just covers so nicely. It feels great on the under eyes. Again, meshes really well with foundations or more of a tinted moisturizer and whatnot, blends out very nicely, and overall I feel like I could say the same thing for all of these, but I just love how lightweight they are, how they don't crease on my under eyes, and just how, you know, very natural and almost like no makeup it can look if I use it. If I want to go very minimal, it can really look like I have nothing on my face almost, except that my face is just perfected and the color is corrected. But all three of these are fantastic concealers. Absolutely love them. Next up is powders. This is still a favorite, the number 7 Perfect Light Press Powder. I have gone through 2 or 3 of these, and this one is getting a serious dip on it, and I definitely plan to repurchase whenever it does officially go, but it is just so fantastic. With this press powder, I mainly use this underneath my eyes just because it's really nice and light. With it being a press powder, it's so easy to put it under my eyes and go. I never have any creasing whatnot underneath my eyes whenever I use this, no matter the type of concealer I use. It's minimal to zero, literally. Whenever I grab this and set my under eyes, I never even think to worry about my under eyes creasing. At the end of the night, I get up close and check, and it's like, yep, still good to go. I love it, so that is an absolute favorite and has been a favorite for many years. I also use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder a lot. I feel like that this year was the first time I tried it. Anyway, I went through it all. I think there's like the teeniest, tiniest bit, but this baby is pretty much empty, and it's just a fantastic powder. Definitely one that I plan to repurchase. I just repurchased on Ulta. I'm still waiting to get it in the mail, but I did want to repurchase this because it's just a solid loose powder, and I love loose powders for setting the rest of my face because I can really determine like how light I want to set my face makeup. Some days I really want to lay on the powder, especially if it was like in the summer and I wanted my face to kind of stay put. I'd really go heavy on the powder, but most days when I wanted to do a very natural type of face makeup, I would just very lightly powder to make sure my face wasn't sticky and go. And that's why I tend to reach for loose powders, because I feel like it's easier to be able to customize how heavy of a setting I want to do with a loose powder over a pressed powder. But anyway, this was fantastic for face powder. Really love it. Obviously, it is empty. And then another new one to me is the Gimme Glow. This is the Baking and Loose Setting Powder and Banana Cream Pie. This one I feel like I've been using so much, but it still is not even like to the halfway mark. I feel like there's a lot in here. I forget. This is 32 grams, 1.12 ounces. How much is in this? This is 0.7 grams, so less than an ounce. So this is more than an ounce. That's probably why I still have it around, because I've been using this so much and I haven't even made a dent, and I appreciate that there's a ton in here. Again, just a nice powder. Really does remind me of Maybelline, except I would say a little bit thicker, a little bit more coverage than the Fit Me powder. But yeah, another great powder I've really been reaching for a ton this year. Okay, next is bronzers, and I'm actually going to shock you guys, but I'm not only going to do a powder bronzer, I'm going to do a cream bronzer category, because somewhere along 2021, Katie, who hates cream products, fell into cream bronzers, and I love them, and I use them every day now. Don't ask me how it happened. It just happened, and we've moved on and accepted it. But anyway, yeah, I have a cream bronzer on today. The one I have is from Persona. This is in the shade Sahara, and I just love the routine. Usually I do my face makeup and put on the foundation or tinted moisturizer. I do my under eyes, and while I give that a little bit of time to set, I will put the cream bronzer on, blend it out, and then I set my under eyes and set my face. And most days, especially if I want to go very light on my face makeup, I won't do any type of powder bronzer. I'll just do the cream bronzer and move on. And I love how natural it looks. So anyway, I've been using the Sahara one from Persona. Absolutely love it. It's very dark. So, well, I should say very dark to me. It's a very like intense. It's my most intense type of bronzers, almost on that contour level, but I like that I can use a little bit of it, really blend it out, and I feel like it still looks natural. It doesn't look anything too harsh or too crazy on my skin tone. So it's a good color match for me. It's just the darkest one that I own. And then the other two that I love, this is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer in Baked. This is the What Started It All. I got this little sample guide, and I can't believe I still have this going. Like, it's still got so much left because, like I said, this was what started it all, and I've been using this almost every day of 2021. I can't remember exactly when I first started dabbling in cream bronzers, but this was one of the first ones I got, and I've just been going at it. It's a great color. It's a little bit of like a very natural, almost, you know, very natural light type of bronzer on my skin, so I can really kind of not go ham, but I can put on a lot of this, blend it out, and it looks very, very natural on my skin. And then the other one that I tried that I've really been enjoying is the e.l.f. Cosmetics Putty Bronzer. I forget what shade this is in. It doesn't have the shade on here. Well, that's unfortunate. This bronzer, I would say this is my lightest one out of all of them. So whenever I go in with this, like I really go in there and I really go ham on my face because I can put a lot because the color is, you know, fairly close to my skin tone. It still gives a bronzed look, but the formula itself is very thin. So if you're someone who's wanting to like dabble in the cream bronzers, I feel like this is a great first step to pick this up because it is so light. Like the formula itself is so light. There is like a lot of room for error. Like you could go ham on this and still it wouldn't look like crazy harsh. Whereas if you took the Persona and went ham on this, it could get a little scary. Like it's so intensely pigmented, but this is very lightly pigmented, if that makes sense. Like, let me see if I can swatch some with my nail on. It's kind of hard to get in there. But there is a swatch of it and it's just so very light. Like you can really, I almost dropped that, but you can really, as I said, put it on there. It's so very light. However, with this, you streak this on there. It's intense. So that's kind of why I say that I feel like the e.l.f., even when you're blending this out, like it still stays pretty intense. With all three of these, I have no issues blending them out. They're very creamy. I've tried one other bronzer before this, or two other bronzers before this, and they were a nightmare to blend out. They made my foundation look so patchy. They made it look so weird throughout the day. It broke up really bad. I haven't experienced that with any of these. They're very easy to blend out, very easy to work with. They, you know, each have their differences, with this being so very sheer and being able to pack it on, and this being so intense. So there's that to learn. But I enjoy them all. I really enjoy wearing them all, and I feel like they do a fantastic job giving me a very natural type of bronze look most days. So those are my top three for cream bronzers. Moving on to powder, these are the three that I've been using so much in 2021. And the first one is not old at all. This is the Milani, what's it called? Sun-Kissed Silky Matte Bronzer. This guy is fantastic. This is my second one of this because I completely panned the first one. The formula is amazing. It's such a good color, such an easy color for me. Like it's so very natural, but you can really pack it on and, you know, blend it in, and it looks just so natural and beautiful. Such a favorite of mine. I've raved about it so much on my channel. I also tried the Milani Bronze City. I broke it when I dropped it one day, but anyway, in the shade 200, this is a great bronzer. Again, very close to my own color, but I like that because I can really pack it on and blend it in. It's nothing too harsh, and I don't have to work very hard to blend it out. Like if you get a very dark bronzer and you go too ham on it, it can take a while to blend it out. So I like that these two I can just throw them on almost without thinking and get a really nice natural type of bronzer. This is more of a warm tone, and this is more cool tone. If you're curious on my skin tone, that's kind of how I see it and how I use them. And then last up for bronzers is a Juvia's Place Bronzed in Medium. This guy right here is so nice. Sometimes I just use one and go, but I love these colors. Both of the colors work so well on my skin tone, and the formula itself is very nice. It's nothing like too stark, which I like. Like it's very pigmented, not to say it's not pigmented, but it's just such a nice formula, such a smooth formula, and the color is so perfect for me that it's such a breeze to work with. I never get like too much bronzer on my face when I use these, and they're just very forgiving. So another type of bronzer that, I mean, all three of my powder bronzers I feel like are very forgiving. I'm someone who loves to go ham on my bronzers, on my powder bronzers, so I like to have bronzers in my collection that I can go ham on without looking crazy, and all three of these fit the bill, so I've just been using them so much in 2021. Next up was supposed to be blush, but I know this will probably not come as too much of a surprise, but I don't wear blush hardly ever, and in 2021 I've probably worn blush maybe 20 times, maybe even 12 times. Have I worn it 10 times? I can't remember. Like that's how infrequently I wear blush. And especially with this year, with me going so minimal on my face, blush is always a thing I chop off my list and I keep on moving. So literally when I say I don't have a top three from this past year, I don't have a top three because I rarely wore any. So we're gonna keep on moving and go right into highlighter. So for a highlighter, I do have some favorites. I enjoy a nice highlight, and I have three favorites from this past year. I tried the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlighter, and this is so beautiful, so blinding, so lovely. I've really enjoyed it. It's more on the high end because it is Natasha Denona, but if you want a nice blinding highlight, this is so natural. When you use it with a brush, it blends right in. It gives you a blinding highlight, but you can't really see it standing out on your face, and that's what I love. That's kind of my criteria when it comes to a highlighter. I like a blinding highlight, but I don't like it to look like it has, like I can see the lines where the highlighter is because it's so textured or just so thick or whatnot. So this doesn't do that. I absolutely loved it, and I've reached for it so very much in 2021. I also have really been reaching for these two from Anastasia. This is the Amrezy highlighter. This isn't new, but the Amrezy highlighter and then their newer Iced Out highlighter. These two, I love the formula, and I've just been reaching for these so very much in 2021. I love this if I want a more gold highlight, and I love this if I want a more icy green is honestly, or like a yellow green. So depending on what I want is what I've been reaching for. But overall, I just love the formula of these. It's so very fine. It's almost like I think it's like a baked gelée is what it's called, type of formula, but it makes it so easy to put on. This is the Amrezy, this is the Iced Out. Makes it so very easy to apply. They're both super blinding, and I just think they're fantastic. I really do enjoy them, and as I said, I've been reaching for them so very much in 2021. When I was thinking over my top 3, I was like, well, obviously there are 3 highlighters very easy come to the top of my mind that I've just been wearing on repeat for 2021, and it is these 3. Okay, kind of segueing up a little bit, we're going to talk about brows and mascara and liner and stuff like that. For brows, I do have 3 easy favorites. One is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. This is a clear brow gel that if you want your brows to be like hairsprayed down, this is it. Like, they stay down, they go down, they don't move. They're fantastic. I've used this so very much. Whether I'm, just wanting to do very natural and nothing on my brows, I love using this because it just keeps my brow hairs from going crazy, and definitely been the best type of like a brow setter that actually keeps it down. This, as I said, is like hairspray for your brows, so I love it. I don't have one open, but I did go through an entire Gimme Brow from Benefit. I'll go ahead and stick it over here, but this guy I really do love. It's got a really tiny little wand on there, so you could really get in your brows, and the color I had, I can't even remember the color, so I'm not going to say, but whatever color I had was like perfect for my brows. I use that every single day. I love that it was tinted, and maybe like a tinted fiber, because it really did a great job in filling in my brows. So whenever I used that, it never looked like I had like drawn it in with a pencil, but it almost looked like I had used some type of brow pencil to fill it in, because it did tint them so much, and it also kind of helped keep it down. I feel like it didn't keep it down as well as this, so honestly I would often do the Gimme Brow with this together to keep them in place. But for tinting them and taming them, I should say, and making sure to fill in the sparse area, it was amazing, one of my favorites. And then my third and final one is this from Thrive Cosmetics. I can't tell you what it is because the writing has completely worn off. This is fantastic. I love it so much. I use it all the time. This is in the shade Audrey, which is a little warm for me. I had another one. They sent me 2 different colors. I finished up the first one, which was the perfect color for me. This one, as I said, is a little bit warm, but I'm wearing it today. I don't think it looks that crazy on me, but it isn't my perfect preferred color. Anyway, the formula is fantastic. I love the size of the wand. It's so very tiny, makes it so easy to really kind of go back and forth and fill in my brows with the tinting aspect before I brush them down, and it does a good job keeping them down. But overall, it's a fantastic tinted brow gel. That is my preference when it comes to my brows. I like some type of brow gel just so I can brush it through and go, because I really just don't ever take the time to use a pencil, and my brows are pretty full. I just need a couple sparse areas filled in and I'm good to go. So this and the Gimme Brow were definitely my top favorite, and then this clear one seals it in so very nice. Okay, next is liners. Let's talk about liquid liners. I thought about doing gel liners too, but I don't really have any standout favorites. I just kind of used whatever, but none impressed me, so that's why I kind of changed it up every day. But for liquid liners, I definitely had some favorites. My number 1 favorite has got to be the Essence Super Precise Eyeliner. This is so fantastic. Not that expensive. It's Essence, so it's not that expensive, and it works so well. Another favorite is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. I often compare these 2 together because they're just so very similar. The only thing I would say is the matte liquid liner from NYX, I feel like is a touch more matte and maybe a touch more waterproof. But with saying that, the Essence is still very waterproof. It's not that much money, and I absolutely love it. They're both kind of dip in type of liquid liners, and I love that aspect. I can get a really nice clean line, a really nice intense line, and it's just, they're great formulas. I've been using both of these for over a year. I want to say, I can't remember when I first discovered both of them. I know the NYX one I've been using longer, but the Essence one I think I've been like 2-3 years. They're fantastic. Still love them, still repurchasing them, and do plan to continue repurchasing them. And then the last one, this is new this year, is from Physicians Formula. This is the Organic Wear Precise Liquid Liner with chamomile oil, and I got the color brown. This is a great, really matte liquid liner, and I would consider repurchasing it and even trying the black because I love the brown so much. I have been trying to wear more different color when it comes to my liquid liner, and definitely, trying to do more brown liquid liner because I feel like it's just something different, and it can definitely just go with the look more. Maybe if it's a very, browny, warm tone type of look, I feel like a brown liquid liner looks just so very good. So that's why I picked this up, and I really like the formula. Very matte. It honestly reminds me of the NYX matte liquid liner. It really reminds me of this formula because it gets so intensely matte. It's very like opaque. It doesn't take a lot of work to put on, and it stays really well all day. So really did enjoy that. So yeah, all 3 of these I've used so much, almost exclusively. I've been trying to change it up and get to use everything in my collection, but when we're talking about 2021, all of 2021, I definitely use these three way more than any others. I almost forgot, but let's talk about eyeshadow primers. You guys know I love eyeshadow primers. First one's gonna be maybe a little bit of a cheat, but it's like I use them both together and I never use one without the other, so I see them as one. But it is the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eyeshadow Primer and the Makeup Revolution Supersize Conceal and Define. I love this eyeshadow primer. It's the best one ever for really making sure I get no creasing, no fading, nothing funny with my eyeshadows. Anytime I try a new eyeshadow palette, typically the first look I do is with these two because I just feel like they pair so well. It's a perfect kind of base for me when it comes to my eyes and my oily eyelids and what I like. These two pair perfectly, and as I said, anytime I get a new palette, I'm going to use this. Typically I do the first time, but one time during the time I'm testing it, I always try it with these because this is like my no fail when it comes to eyeshadow primers. So if anything goes wrong with me wearing this, it's like, what's wrong with that palette? But anyway, the other two that I've been using a lot this past year is this is the Zoeva Eyeshadow Fix Matte Longwear. This has a little bit of a tint to it, so it's kind of like these two combined into one, and it works really well. It doesn't give as much concealer as the concealer, but it does conceal my eyes a little bit, and I've enjoyed how it, you know, holds onto my eyeshadow. I have overall really good results wearing it. And then the other one is the Alamar Cosmetics Pero Primo Primer. I know I butcher it every time, but I really like this. This is definitely a sticky primer. It gives coverage just like I like, so it's a primer and concealer kind of in one, but it's very sticky. So actually this one I've kind of been using it, especially towards the last half of the year. Anytime I have a shimmer on my eyes and maybe I don't want to use like a glitter primer, I just want something else that gives me coverage and is really sticky, I've been reaching for this a lot because it does have that coverage aspect to it, and it's so sticky when it's kind of done and set that I feel like it's kind of a good 2-for-1. I don't think it would do well for like glitter, but for shimmer, when you want it to really stand out, I feel like this does a great job gripping onto it, and I've been using it in that aspect a lot in this past year. Mascaras. I have favorites that have been favorites for a very long time. One is the Benefit Bad Gal Bang, one is the L'Oreal Unlimited, and one is the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. All three of these, absolutely love them. I have a video comparing the Sky High and the Bad Gal Bang together. Did I do? I think I also have a video with the L'Oreal Unlimited. I can't even remember, do I? If I do, I'll link it up here as well. I can't remember if I did. I want to say I did, but I definitely know I did the Benefit Bad Gal Bang with the Sky High, and I called these two dupes because they were so very similar. But all three of these, I love them because they give me what I want in my mascara so very quickly and easily. They really work to lengthen my lashes and curl my lashes and then give me some kind of density or like depth at the very base of it to make them look as full as they possibly can. And I just feel like I get it so very easy. And also wear time, I don't get a ton of like fallout, I don't get a ton of smudging, I don't have to worry about any of that. Once it's on and dried, they just last so very well and just are so bulletproof for me. So all three of these, short and sweet, absolutely love them. They are my jam, and I've used them, as I said, on repeat for 2021. All right, moving on to lipsticks. Let's do lip glosses first up. So lip glosses, I have three that I have used so very much this past year. First one being Juvia's Place lip gloss. I don't know if it has a name. It's completely worn off or like a name for the lip gloss, but this is in the shade CC, and I have worn it so much. It is so nice. For me, when I want a gloss, I like a very opaque gloss. I'm not someone who likes a very sheer gloss. If it's a lip oil, it's like, okay, you can be sheer, but I still want some color, but you can be sheer. If it's a lip gloss, I want it to be intense, and this gives me so much color. I can just wear this. It looks very glossy on your lips, but it still looks like a lipstick. It's almost like you put a lipstick on and then put gloss over top. That's the look I get with this. That's what I like, and this is just fantastic. The color's perfect for me. Another love is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. This is in the shade Stone. Again, one of those lip glosses that look like you put a lipstick down and then put a clear gloss on top because it's so opaque, but it gives you that glossy finish that I just absolutely love. Been wearing this so much. And then last up is the Lime Crime Lip Glaze, a Butter Plus Glaze, and this is in the shade Herb. This, again, is one of those that are just so glossy, so opaque, that it just looks like you have a lipstick on and gloss on top, and I just love them. All three of these colors I've worn so very much. I love Herb for whenever I have like a very brown kind of, you know, autumny or fallish type of look. I love pairing this because it's very brown and beautiful. This is more of like a brown type of nude, the Stone color. It's like a cool tone brown nude, and this is like a more of a mauve, cool tone mauve nude type of look on me. So I've worn all three of these so very much because depending on what I have going on my eyes, I'll pair it with one of these, and I just love it. They're so comfortable. I love the color they give. I love the glossy look, and they've been my jam for 2021. Moving on to lipsticks. I don't wear these as much, but when I do want to wear lipstick, I've been reaching for these a whole lot this year. Number one being the Juvia's Place. Again, I don't know if they have a name, but this is in the shade Muted. I have another one that's more pinky tone, but I just love them. This is what I have on my lips today. It's so very comfortable, so very opaque. They just wear very nicely. They wear a decent amount. Of course, they're lipsticks, so they do wear off, but they have some longevity to them, and they just feel so comfortable when they're on. I love them. And then also DD Signature, I tried, this is in the shade Stella Rosa specifically, but I tried a couple of her lipsticks. I think this is from the Wine collection or Apple collection, I can't remember. Such a beautiful formula. Oh my goodness, they feel so amazing on your lips. A little bit more moisturizing than the Juvia's Place, but still not too moisturizing like they're gonna slip off, but they're just so comfortable and so beautiful on. They wear so nicely. They're just lovely to wear. And then also the Odin's Eye, what is this called? This is in Light Peach specifically, and I've reached for this so many times. Like I said, when it comes to lipsticks, I don't wear them as much as lip glosses or liquid lipsticks, but these are the three that I've reached for so many times in this past year of 2021 that I definitely can name these as a favorite. I love the formula. I love the colors. I've worn these colors so very much this past year. They're just fantastic, and I love the formula. I love the opacity of them all. They're just great lipsticks to have. Okay, and last up, liquid lipsticks. Let's end it out with liquid lipsticks. I have three favorites that I have worn so very much in 2021. First one not being anything new, but this is the L'Oreal, what are these called? I don't remember what these are called, but they're like super light. They're almost like water, but they have color to them. They're so comfortable. They're nothing long wearing, so when you initially think like liquid lipsticks, matte liquid lipsticks, you think of something that's gonna be bulletproof and last forever. These are not that, because they will wear away almost at the same speed as like a regular lipstick. Like, they don't have a lot of lasting power. However, I love how lightweight they are. Like, whenever I wear them, I forget that they're on. They dry down, they settle to a matte finish, and you don't feel them. They're that light, and I love it. And also too, I love just how flattering and natural the colors are, because they're nothing too thick on your lips. They do look very natural on, very light, and just very, I don't know, just very flattering. Like, I feel like anytime, especially when I'm going to the church service with my family, these are the lipsticks I tend to reach for, because they're so comfortable. They go with whatever I'm wearing, because I have a bunch of different nude colors. They're very light on my lips. I don't have to worry about the kids bumping me and, you know, smearing it all over my face. And I don't have to worry about upkeep of making sure I don't have like a ring around the inside of my lips and whatnot. And whenever they do wear away, you know, eventually as I'm eating and drinking, they wear away very gracefully in my opinion. So I love them. I know some people said that they were like disappointed with how like lightweight it was, how almost watery it was, and how it didn't have any wear time. But those are the aspects that I honestly love about this in my like real life. Like, when I talk about real life of actually wearing it, not for YouTube and the camera, I really do reach for these a lot, so I had to mention those. And then the other two is Odin's Eye. This is their liquid lipstick in Bright Papaya. I have several colors of this. It's not the only one. Here's one right here in Water Lily, and there's another one somewhere. I love the formula. It's just so very comfortable on. I love the colors. They're just so nice, and yeah, I've had great experience with them. I really enjoy how they feel. You can definitely tell they're on your lips, unlike the L'Oreal one, but just color-wise, formula-wise, how they wear on my lips, how they sit on my lips, I like how they dry, I like how they sit, and I like how they wear away. They wear away relatively gracefully, though I do have to keep an eye for the whole ring. And then another one that I really love is the Give Me Glow. I can't remember the name of this one because the sticker fell off when I wasn't looking and I didn't put it back on, but this is a liquid lipstick from Give Me Glow that I have worn so very much this past year. It's more of a brownie type of nude, but it dries down really nicely. I would say when we're talking about lasting power, like the L'Oreal has no lasting power, Odin's Eye has really nice lasting power, and then Give Me Glow is like right in between, because it doesn't have the best lasting power, but it does wear off gracefully. It does look very nice. It does have some lasting power, so that's kind of how I would rank all three of these. But yeah, really did enjoy Give Me Glow as well. I really do like that color. I wish I could tell you what color it is, but the formula was fantastic, and I wore it so many times during 2021. Alright, so there you have it. Those are my top three in every category, I hope. I laid everything out, and I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any categories. I looked through my list. I think I got everything. Those are my top three for 2021. Those are the products that I've just reached for on repeat. They have been like those no-fail products I can always depend on, and they're just fantastic. Absolutely love them. So let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you have any of these top three that I mentioned, and if you like them as well. I know, especially when it comes to face and stuff, because, you know, all our faces are different, dry, oily, you know, combo, all that sort of thing, texture, whatnot. So we might have different preferences or just different needs for our skin in that aspect. But I would love to hear if any of my favorites are also your favorites as well. As always, I cannot wait to hear what you guys say down below in the comments. Thank you guys so very much for watching once again. If you want to continue getting daily content from me, I'm over on Instagram. I'm Lady Katie over there, and I put up something new on my Instagram about every day if you like reels, up close eye pictures, all that sort of thing. And yeah, with all that said, that concludes my top three in face, eye, and lip categories for 2021. As I said, I already did eyeshadow eyeshadow palettes. If you somehow missed it in the beginning, eyeshadow palettes, my top 3 in different categories are already up, and I'll have it linked down in the description box or up in the eye if you want to check it there. But yeah, with all that said, I'll see you guys very soon in my next one. Bye, guys.